Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Century Plyboards India Limited earnings conference call, hosted by Asian Market Securities Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Karan Bhatelia from Asian Market Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
A very warm afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you all to the Century Plyboards India Limited Q2 FY21 earnings phone call hosted by Asian Market Securities. From the management side, we have Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Managing Director and CEO, Mr. Keshav Bhajanka, Executive Director, Ms. Nikita Bansal, Executive Director, and Mr. Arun Kumar Julasaria, CFO, and Mr. Abhishek Rathi, Deputy General Manager. I would request Mr. Sanjay Agarwal to take us through an overview of quarterly numbers, and then we can open the floor for the question and answer session. Over to you, sir.
Company. Mr. Keshav Bhajanka, Executive Director, Ms. Nikita Bansal, Executive Director, and Mr. Arun Julasaria, our CFO of the company, have joined together in welcoming you to the second quarter FY21 result call of Century Plyboards India Limited. Our earlier estimates were to achieve back normal or near to normal performance in the last quarter of FY21. But the force and robustness of Indian economy has really pushed the performance of most industries to near normal in the month of September itself. I am happy to present to you that Century Ply in current quarter has achieved 88% of last year Q2. I also want to highlight that September 19 and September 20 were almost equal in top line. Alone, plywood sale in the month of September 20 was higher by 6% than that in September 19. What I mean is that the plywood sale, instead of being 6% September 19, okay. And this trend has done even better in October. I feel proud in informing that October month has been one of the best months in the history of Century Ply. In Q2, year-on-year growth in MDF is over 20%. Our vision to take the MDF route for growth is proving right. For the first time, I am happy to report a degrowth on positive note as plywood has degrown lesser compared to other products in panel segment. You all know that we are already working hard to expand our MDF capacity, and once all the variables are finalized, we will be announcing the same. Mr. Keshav Bhajanka has undertaken himself to put up the plant at its earliest. Year on year, our operating margins are better in Q2 and PAT is almost flat, even after achieving only 88% of the top line in the quarter. Century Ply has always believed in bringing new technology for its customer, and this time our production team along with our R&D team under the guidance of our director, Mr. Ajay Baldava, and other renowned scientists have brought ViroKill technology. This treatment is based on nanotechnology and is absolutely safe for humans and environment. Aggressive decisions in R&D and more aggressive decisions in popularizing it through media has resulted in better consumer preference of our product. We will constantly introduce other technologies and features in coming years to keep the consumer benefiting and the market budging. Our total debts were 189 crores in March 20, which increased to 243.5 crores in June 20. I am pleased to report that the same debt as on 30th of September has come down only to 85 crores, including both long-term and short-term debts. All our ratios, which were distorted due to COVID situation, are now at its best, even better than pre-COVID level. We have seen that Indian economy bounces back strongly after every such depression. We again expect our economy to perform very strongly for next 2 to 3 years at least. Even the real estate sector is showing signs of recovery. We believe the whole story is about sustenance. If one can sustain and keeps kicking in the long bad times, they will certainly do better when the good times come. I am also proud that Century Ply holds the highest possible standards of corporate governance, which gives us the internal sustenance power to fight any war and win it. With these remarks, I hand over to CFO Mr. Arun Julasaria to take you through key financial figures, post which we are open for your queries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I will like to mention customary disclaimer that this phone call is just to discuss company's historical numbers and future outlook. In no way this should be construed as invitation to invest in the company. Results for the quarter along with detailed analysis is already mailed to you and also hosted on stock exchange and company websites. Assuming that you have gone through that, I will not take much of your time and take you through only basic numbers and macros. Results for Q1 were adversely impacted due to COVID-19 pandemic and consequent nationwide lockdowns. However, as informed in Q1 call, we looked Q2 with optimism. The recovery in Q2 was better, faster and swifter than what we expected. Blended revenue for Q2 is almost 88% of revenue of corresponding Q2 in last year, with improved levels of EBITDA and profitability. All business segments have done well, and MDF segment has done exceptionally well. Total revenue for the quarter was rupees 519.8 crore against 589.3 crore last year. Overall EBITDA without considering exceptional items was 16.8% against 16.4% in corresponding last quarter and 15.6% for the whole of FY20. Profit after tax for Q2 is rupees 51.4 crore against 52.1 crore in Q2 last year, so almost flattish. On balance sheet front, all working capital parameters are now normal and working capital cycle is again pegged at normal level of 2.3 months. As informed by MD sir, we have considerably reduced our debt level. I would like to add to that now our average cost of borrowing is near about 2% per annum. With these words, I open this conference call for questions and answers. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on a touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who has a question at this time, please press star 1. We have the first question from the line of Prashant Kutty from Sundaram Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, and congrats on a very good set of numbers. So firstly, in terms of plywood, heartening to hear these comments from you. Just wanted to understand you said real estate is also kind of picking up as well. Would we look to increase our outlook for plywood business in the second half of the year? And also, you spoke about sustainability. Tell us how long can this actually sustain? Because you're on one side also seeing good growth in MDF as well. So just your thoughts on this part. Hello? Yeah, sure.
Hello,
So I'm sorry,
hello.
we cannot hear you.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
sir. Now we can hear you.
Sorry. So I will restart. So I think there are two reasons basically for the plywood performance. One is that pent-up demand, which I think is proving true for most of the industries. The second one, which is much more important and which one is actually long-lasting probably for us, the Virokill technology and its media popularization. So because of this, Century Ply brand has really got a boost, and we are finding that demand for Century Ply is now much more than most other brands. You can compare the numbers with others yourself. Going ahead, I believe that this technology will and our media plan will bring Century Ply and keep Century Ply at the top of people's mind. And safety is important to everybody. So I believe that going ahead, the numbers should be good, but yes, let the time pass and let the actual performance prove it for us. As far as you asked something for MDF also?
Yeah, I asked them MDF. Before that, on the plywood part, since you said that Virokill, obviously that has come up. I mean, I believe it's a premium product itself. So, are there any targets over here in terms of the next 1 or 2 years? What kind of scale you kind of want to achieve in this particular segment?
Very frankly, I am little cautious at this juncture. Yes, we have very big plans and we have very good numbers in our mind, but then I will not like to promise at this juncture. But yes, going ahead, we know that yes, the situation is going to change and our numbers are going to do better. That much only I can tell at this moment as far as plywood is concerned. Yeah.
Sure. Just two more questions from my end. Firstly is on the laminates business. What really went wrong and how is that trending up in the month of October? If you could just speak on that part. And secondly is on the MDF business. You said that you're almost in process of finalizing the MDF capacity addition. I wanted to ask, the current capacity can go out in how long? Is one part which I wanted to ask. That is one part. And secondly,
MDF bol deta hu.
Yeah, and secondly on this is on MDF UP or is it the existing plant? What is the plant state of affairs on that?
You see, as far as MDF is concerned, MDF is the first thing I think what has happened. The government of India is now working very hard and it has actually created some problems to import of furniture in the country. So that is why the ready-made furniture market in India from Indian producers is really booming. So the demand of MDF and particle board has improved. So similarly, we increased prices in particle board. I don't think we have informed that or we have informed it. I don't remember. But yes, we have increased prices of particle board and we probably will be increasing prices of MDF also. We are watching the market and will be increasing prices of MDF also. The demand has improved because the ready-made furniture market is improving and it's now going to improve for long term because the government of India has identified furniture as the segment where they want India to become the powerhouse of the world. So government thinks that India can become a major exporter of ready-made furniture. So that's part of the MDF business and its future. But your second question regarding the location of the unit and all, I will request Keshav to take that question actually.
So you see, there are two parts when it comes to this question. When it comes to location, of course, the realization is very important. Secondly, the transportation cost, considering the fact that MDF is a very low weight product or very high weight relative to transportation cost product. We are exploring between two locations. Sitapur, as you know, has its own set of limitations, but we have also identified a location in the south, which we are actively pursuing. By December, we should have a clear-cut decision as to where we'll be proceeding with the plant. With regards to laminates, laminates as a product category always follows plywood in terms of demand. There is a lag because first plywood will be used, and then on top of that, laminate or any other decorative surface is normally used. So October was a good month and our recovery has been strong. I think month after month we have grown, and I think October is a very good benchmark to show that going forward this quarter we should be performing substantially better in laminate category as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. And just one bit, any change in the capex because of if the location changes to south?
If we go for a plant in the south, then more likely we'll go for only an MDF capacity. If we go for only an MDF capacity without the fungible particle board aspect, the capex will reduce. I think we'll be looking at a capex of close to 350 crores if we look at the line in the south.
Sure. Thank you so much and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Sneha Talreja from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir, and congratulations on good set of numbers. Just a couple of questions from my end. Firstly, on your, your average cost of capital has come down significantly. So, would like to know what's your foreign debt at this point of time, and what's the average cost of debt for your working capital as well as term loan?
Yeah, right now our borrowing is only in two forms. For working capital, we have borrowed packing credit, which after taking subvention is around 2% per annum. And we have also borrowed ECB, which is less than 2%. So we have got only two fund-based borrowing. Both are either at 2% or less than 2% per annum.
So the average cost of debt that we have seen, or the interest cost that we have seen, you think is sustainable for the year? Like
yeah, of course. We are not going to borrow any more at high rate.
Okay. Thanks for that. And the second question was regarding your laminates division. So just few more clarity. One thing you said is it comes with a lag. You said definitely you've seen pickup happening from October. So can we get the growth number of October or the degrowth for October month for only your laminates business? And what was your Q2 mix of exports as well as domestic for laminates?
In Q2, our export to domestic ratio was pretty much consistent with what we have been doing before. And as far as the October figure is concerned, we had close to a 10% growth over October last year.
Oh. So you've already started seeing growth even in your laminates division?
Yes, we have.
Just for my understanding, I won't have the previous figures. So did you see exports to be a growth number in Q2, or was it the domestic which impacted the growth more in the laminates division?
The domestic impacted more. The domestic
impact
was higher. The export was more or less, the degrowth in export was substantially lower.
Okay. So both were degrowth, but exports degrowth was lower than that.
Yes.
Okay. And so looking at the run rate, so last time, this is just last question from my end. Just looking at the run rate of, what we've been achieving. So last quarter you gave the guidance that, you would be kind of looking at 100% of sales across your divisions by around Q4. But given that, we have already, started seeing growth, let's say in the month of September as well as October, is there any revised point of view that you would like to give?
We would love to do it, and I think, yes, we are reaching there, but people are talking about a second wave or a third wave of this corona. So you never know. But we still speak that, yes, the fourth quarter absolutely will be there or maybe better than last year. and we are keeping our finger crossed for the third quarter.
Sure, sir. Thanks, sir. I'll just come back in the queue, sir. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Madhav Marda from Fidelity Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Good evening. Thank you so much for your time. My question was on the MDF, the industry as a whole. Just, any updated thoughts that you all have on the demand-supply dynamics for MDF? And especially on the supply side, how do you think the competition with the supply side evolves? Because it's a fairly nascent industry, but if we become an export powerhouse for ready-made furniture, this industry could be multi-X to what it is today. So just how do you think this evolves in the years to come?
Our chairman has spoken many times that today probably in India we make about 8 million cubic meter. About 1 million cubic meter is installed capacity in India right now, which we expect in next 5 years to go to maybe about 4 million to 5 million cubic meter. And with the policy of the government focusing on furniture as one of the items which India will export, India will replace China in the world. And we are already seeing the result because the furniture import has been made costly. And so more and more furniture, Indian-made furniture is being sold in India. So yes, furniture is the product for future. And our expansion, yes, we are, I think Keshav spoke about it and we will be there.
Understood. No, so I understand the growth aspect. I was asked, like, if any new player wants to come, because if the industry, goes from 1 million to 5 million, that's 5 times in 5 years. One would expect that more players would like to enter, or we would like to become a larger company. So how do you think the competition evolves? What's the barrier to entry? That's just something I'm trying to understand for the industry, because it looks very promising.
There are many states which do not allow, number one, the entry. Number two, because you see, we are into this industry, we know the industry so well. So for anybody else, there have been people who have tried earlier, and I think, if I am not wrong, none of them have succeeded till date actually. So I don't think that, yes, they are welcome to come and they are welcome to compete. There is no problem. Nobody will stop them. But the question is only, number one, investment. The investment is so high because the investment and the turnover are practically 1:1 or 1:1.2. So that is one issue here. And the second issue is the credit in the market. So you have to understand the market first. And how can you extend the credit in the market? So I don't think that many new players or outsiders will come. But yes, there are people in the timber industry, plywood industry, laminate industry. They are getting in and new capacities will come. You see, we need to wait and watch. All these things in every industry has happened, and we will see the game happening in front of us.
Okay. Just one last follow-up. The new people who tried to enter but did not succeed, any reason? Like, what are the challenges that they faced in trying to scale in the business?
ये सब history में जाके अब क्या फायदा? There is no point in getting into this history. है कि नहीं?
No, sir, but history teaches us a lot, no, sir. History teaches us a lot.
Yeah, I know. One should know the history. We all know, but I don't think this time is there right now to get into the history.
Sure.
Let's stick to our business right now.
Sure. Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nihal Shah from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, for a very, very good set of numbers, and more importantly on the balance sheet. I think you've done a remarkable job.
Thank you, Nehal. Thank you.
Sir, key question on plywood. Now, while our growth has been pretty much very, very strong, like decline has been much less than what we projected for, and that's largely to do with pent-up demand. You also said Virocal technology obviously had led to a strong boost in sales. But frankly, sir, what kind of benefit Virocal or even theory of constraints or even Salesforce automation, all three put together, what has been the impact on our plywood efficiencies and plywood volumes? If you can just quantify or give us a color as to what is happening in each of these three, steps which you have taken, which is absolutely different to what the industry has done over the years?
Hi. So I would like to take this question. So,
Yeah.
with respect to Virokill, so in the past, plywood is a type of a commodity where bringing in new technology or bringing a new customer benefit is very difficult. So the last time we were actually able to do something was when we came up with the borer and termite proof plywood, and that's how Century became Century. But
Yeah.
Since then, this is the first time we came up with an innovation where customer is right now very scared because of the virus in the air, etc. Everything, customer is scared. So we try to solve a customer problem. So because of that, there is definitely a very, very big impact on our sales. We are even seeing, compared to all competition, big, small, we are doing much, much better. Whether it be Q2, whether it be October, we've done far better than them. And I think that is solely due to Virokill. And definitely, see, any change within the company takes time. So the Salesforce automation that we've done, we actually started this in June. But now, honestly, since the last 1 month, people have really started moving around and traveling. Is now when we are actually seeing the effect of Salesforce automation coming. I think the full effect of this will take probably 2 more quarters. I think by the year end, we are expecting the effect to be far more visible. But right now, the effect is small, it's there, but not 100% due to Salesforce automation. And what was your third change that you were talking about?
The theory of constraints.
Yeah. So theory of constraints, honestly, if we did not implement theory of constraints, we would have not been able to supply the material we've been able to do with the type of demand we've had in October, September and August. Would have not been able to do because there was, you're very much aware that there was a huge worker problem. Labor was not returning. And but because we had stock maintained not only at branch level, we had stock maintained at factory level, we were able to, even this month, we will be able to supply the demand that we are facing despite festivals and all the closures in between of various states because of theory of constraints. So theory of constraints has helped us maintain our supply throughout the year.
And how many branches have we put on this theory of constraints so far?
The entire India. So entire India, plywood, laminates is on theory of constraints.
Oh, that's very good. That's very helpful, Nikita. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sonal Kohli from Bowhead. Please go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity and congratulations on fabulous cash flows and numbers. Sir, I have 3 questions for you. How has you said that your demand both in September and October has improved and October has been the best month. From where are you getting the growth? Is it from the top 6, 7, 8 cities, or is it a higher growth from the smaller cities? Once you answer this, I'll ask you my next 2 questions.
Okay, so the thing is, the growth has come from across India. The growth now, as we've seen that the cases are coming down, the growth is coming from cities as well as from upcountry. So I would not be able to say that it is specifically from the top 6 cities. It is across India. We are seeing sort of a pent-up demand which was there. Is suddenly everyone is wanting to renovate just before Diwali or before a second boom comes. Before that, they want to renovate and shift. So we are seeing that type of a demand coming. So it's across India.
Secondly, you in fact half answered that question. How can you say that this is largely pent-up demand, or there's something structural which is happening which gives you confidence not from a next quarter's perspective, but from a next 1 year perspective, because pent-up demand, should be more or less over in this quarter or at best in the March quarter, if it's led by a pent-up demand. So, is there anything which you're tracking, or can one say with confidence what it is, or it's too early for me to ask you this question? What are the management thoughts about it? Secondly, as far as your MDF plant is concerned, I'm sorry if you have said this already. Where are you planning to put it? From what I recall, you had earlier plans for Uttar Pradesh and Punjab was a backup, plan. But I heard something about putting up capacity in South India. So I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
So the MDF question Keshav will take up. I'll answer the first part of your question. So currently we are seeing that the reason why we are seeing it's a pent-up demand is because there is definitely been a sudden increase in September, October. But like I said, we are definitely, because we are providing an innovative product of ViroKill, as well as we are on air from August, September, October, and we plan to be on air through the year, we are definitely getting more sale than our competition. So we want to be cautious when we say that whether this type of demand will continue or not, because we don't know how this virus will behave. Most countries are getting a second wave. So in case that happens, right now for us to project the rest of the year becomes very difficult. But we are definitely looking at this as a positive, with a very positive outlook, because had it just been due to pent-up demand, we would have done similar numbers, but we are doing more. So definitely this growth is there to last for us, but we are keeping our fingers crossed.
So just to add on to that point, you see the gap between us and competition is increasing month on month. So from July that may have been similar, August for us was better, September for us was further better, and in October we increased the distance further. So that gives us some confidence that even going forward, we are going to be doing better than most in the industry. Regarding your second question, for MDF, you see the dynamics in the MDF market, the reason for setting it up in Uttar Pradesh was cheap timber availability and the fact that transportation costs to other parts in the country other than North would have been cheaper. Now, the South has a decent raw material price. The price of timber in the south is more or less similar, slightly higher than in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and the transportation dynamic can be further reduced. Alongside this, anti-dumping duty has been levied, which is a safeguard, of course. I think going forward, we are actively and aggressively pursuing south, especially considering the license issue that has taken place in Uttar Pradesh.
So just a follow-up, since you are looking at South, there are a lot of capacities in South and some new big, large capacities which should be coming up, from another listed player that seems to be in distress considering their market cap and high amount of debt. Aren't those kind of capacities available, and couldn't you shorten your curve by, buying out those kind of capacities? And if, large amount of capacities are already available in surplus in South, what gives you confidence that, while you did an extraordinary job in North India and took market share from established players, the excess capacity in South is way more than what it was in North, and further new capacities are coming up. So in that light, I'm sure the management must have done its own calculations of, but some perspective would really be helpful.
So, you answered your own question with regards to North. When we came in, it was the exact same scenario. What people said was there are two established players and they have substantial capacity. You being a new entrant, you're going to have to sell at a discount. You'll not be able to sell material. But just setting up a capacity and utilizing that capacity in MDF are two completely different subjects. Time has proven this, and it has been repeated again and again. So the operational efficiency that we bring to the table is far in excess of anybody else in the industry, as per me, and that is going to aid us in the south as well. When you're talking about large capacities coming in, there's one capacity that is coming in, just one. And as you have already mentioned, it is a listed player, and we're all aware of which company it is. But having said that, there aren't other capacities that are in the market. Definitely, by acquiring a capacity, you can shorten your time horizon, but the capacity should be available as well. I don't think that capacity is going to be available under any stretch of the imagination. So we are looking aggressively at the south, and I think the way we have performed in the north, perhaps we'll be able to reach full capacity utilization faster in the south. The industry is growing by 20% plus. So that is going to be a big advantage going forward.
And sir, lastly, with this virus technology, have you hiked your prices? Is it getting a better premium in plywood industry?
So Century Plywood is consciously taking the decision that we will not increase the price of our product by a single rupee. We are bearing the cost of the Virokill technology. The Virokill technology has been used in all our product categories that are manufactured in-house, in plywood and in laminate. And despite an additional cost element, you'll see our margins are better considering operational leverage. Our margins are actually far better. So we are getting economies of scale, raw material costs have come down, and through Virokill, you will see our sales growing, definitely leading to higher margin going forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is in the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations on the great numbers. Just to extend the question on the Virokill, is it possible for you to share the mix for the September quarter or October month from Virokill brand?
There is no Virokill brand. So Virokill is a technology that has been used on Century Ply products. Century Club Prime, Century, Scenic 710, all these products that are manufactured in-house, Win, Century PS, so on and so forth, have Virokill technology. So it is not a separate product category. Every single sheet of Century 1mm laminates and 0.8mm laminates has Virokill technology. So there's actually no separate product range.
Right. Possible to give a mix, like what kind of mix is already we are seeing in the month of October from this one?
Are you talking about Scenic versus Century, or are you talking about...
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you, Nikita, actually. Yeah, can you be a little louder, please?
Now?
Yeah, much better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you talking about Scenic versus Century, or because we're not being able to understand your question really clearly?
So this Virokill product mix, is that like entire range of products? Let's say in the month of October is 100%?
So Virokill is a technology that we have brought in all our products. So it's not a separate brand that we've come up with. It's a technology that we are putting in all our products that is manufactured in Century.
Got it. Yeah. Just an extension of the MDF question earlier. What is driving this, the alternative to South? Is it to do with the delays in approvals for the Greenfield plant in UP, or is it it's more to do with the cost and the market situation where you see more demand from South?
It is actually a combination of both. You see, South is a high growth area for us because we are today predominantly present in the North. Transportation cost does not allow us to sell a lot in the South, but the realization in the South also is slightly lower than the North. But the demand in the South is traditionally very strong and it is growing at a rapid pace. So the license delay in Uttar Pradesh has definitely played a role. Uttar Pradesh was our first choice. But now looking at alternatives, South has turned out to be a very good, profitable, viable alternative. So I think going forward, the decision of the South unit will be taken on 2 or 3 fronts. One is the freight cost, the projected sales mix, and on the overall convenience, the overall ease of setting up the plant. The South looks like a good bet.
Understood. You mentioned about the anti-dumping duties. Can you elaborate a bit? I believe the government was considering the anti-dumping duty, but has it been finalized? Has it been announced in your opinion?
In principle, the government has taken it under consideration. I think it is only a matter of time.
And this is more on the thin MDF where the price difference is large, if I understand it correctly?
Yes.
Understood. And can you talk a little bit about, the cost savings measures? Like I see the other expenses and the employee costs are down on a YY basis. So can you elaborate a little bit as to how much of this is sustainable? And I'm sure this has also helped in terms of the margins at the segmental level.
See, we have not cut salary by a single rupee. We had cut salary in Q2, but we reversed that entire decision due to performance. We had said if the company performs at 80% plus, then we'll be reinstating salary to exactly what it was before. So I don't think that there is any any cost element that you will see an increase going forward because you've already factored that in. All the savings that we have achieved are a result of a lot of introspection, lot of hard work during the course of the lockdown, and I think they are paying dividends now.
Okay, just to clarify, I see that the employee cost is down 14% YOY. Let's say in absolute terms is about 75-76 crores. Is that the run rate we would kind of look at, for next few quarters, or there is the adjustment, as you said, about reversal, something out
the
here?
remainder of the year, the reversal has already taken place. It has already been accounted for in the numbers. So going forward for the rest of the year, you will see a similar run rate.
Understood. And with respect to plywood, can you help us understand what is the mix of premium and Sainik?
So for competition reasons, we don't want to give out economy segment numbers. However, by volume, they are in the range of 35 to 40%, and value it is at the range of 25 to 30%. I don't want to give the exact number.
Okay. 35 to 40% of volume and 25 odd % of revenue. Is that right?
Yeah.
And the mix has remained similar, or has that changed? Like, are you seeing a growth in a non-premium more than the premium?
See, definitely, if you know about the plywood market, it's more of a V-shaped, like a belly in the middle. So we are right now trying to grow in the belly segment through Sainik. So definitely the growth will always be higher in Sainik segment. But because the volume that you have to play in or gain market share in the Century segment is always going to be lower, because we are already 30% of the branded plus 100 segment. So I think going forward also the growth definitely in Sainik is going to be higher, but that does not mean that we are not growing as much as the market is growing in my Century segment.
Understood. Just if you could comment on the segment margins. I mean, I see that the margins are pretty good. You commented about the revenue part, but just on the margins front, how do we look at the margins for next few quarters or remainder year?
So you see, whatever margins you're seeing right now, they are without operating leverage. As you know, we've had a degrowth last quarter. So as we improve our performance during Q3 and Q4, I would assume that margins would be on the up.
Just last question, if I may, with respect to utilization for month of October, if you could talk about ply, laminate and MDF.
Our utilizations were better than in Q2 right across. Our utilizations were better than October last year.
Would you be able to give out the number? Like, I would imagine MDF will be already at 100%. Plywood, if it
is better, you speak to the CFO later.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Venkat Sumala from Tata Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations on a very good set of numbers. So I just wanted to understand, that initially in MDF we witnessed very good traction, right? But sequentially, plywood is doing well, and obviously there could be some hesitation initially for customers to, allow the carpenters into their home, and they could go for ready-made furniture, which could drive traction in the MDF segment. But as we are witnessing a good traction in plywood, do we still continue to witness sequential growth in MDF segment as well?
Okay. So, you see, most of the furniture being made are in the new houses where actually the owner is not living. So he just goes and opens probably through somebody, and once they are in, and then the carpenter comes and works and goes. we actually cannot even keep track of the one room or half room or one sofa or one bed. Actually, it is very difficult. So the most of the plywood is actually consumed in new flats where nobody lives. So, that is not a question whether COVID is creating a problem whether while you are making the furniture. So that problem is not there at all.
Okay.
So, and there are two kinds of buyers, you see. Those actually who are making their own house where they want to live. Suppose you are buying a home. Suppose you are in Mumbai and you are living in Mumbai and you have bought a flat. So now you want to do your flat very well because you want to live in this flat for next 15, 20, 30 years. But suppose you are transferred for some time to Bangalore, or you are a very young man coming out of IIM or something and you have got a placement in, say, Lucknow. So what you do, you are living in that house for maybe next 2 years' time. So then why will you invest into costly furniture? That's why probably you will buy a ready-made goods which will last maybe 4 or 5 years. So it's good for you. So I think there are two kinds of buyers actually. Those who really want to make their furniture and stay with it for a long time. So plywood will also grow, and similarly the ready-made furniture will grow because the government is now trying that import of furniture should be stopped or maybe reduced to a great extent, number one. And number two, Government of India wants India to become a powerhouse of export of furniture from India to the world. So that's why the MDF and the particle board will grow. So we believe that actually even plywood will grow, even MDF will grow.
Right.
And if plywood grows, then the veneers or the laminates they also grow. That industry are put together. That industry will grow together.
Just to add on one point, you see the per capita consumption of wood panel related products in India is 2 square feet per individual. Now, that is negligible if you compare it to countries like Japan, where it is in excess of 100. But even if you look at China, the consumption is between 40 to 50 square feet. So you can see that it is 1/25th a country with a similar population. Going forward, the consumption for wood panel products in the long term in India is going to increase at a drastic pace. This will be true for both plywood and for MDF. MDF may be growing faster due to a lower base, but I think both segments will see a good growth.
Right. So to answer my question, you are witnessing sequential growth in both, right? I mean, even when you are witnessing year-on-year growth in ply, there's no impact as such in the growth trajectory for MDF, right?
No.
Sure. That was very helpful. And just to follow up, so you mentioned that the government is trying to ensure that the ready-made furniture industry for our country improve. So have they taken any measure as such?
The ready-made furniture industry is a priority area for the government. There are a number of high-level committees which have asked us for a lot of representation on how to reduce the cost of certain products in India, including MDF and particle board, how to generate sufficient economies of scale. So they have begun work in a in a focused manner. I would say for the first time, at least in my career, I'm seeing this sort of an emphasis having been placed. And I think sooner rather than later, it is going to pay a rich dividend.
Right. Sure.
We have made about 3 presentations already on different product items. Sorry, please continue.
Right. That is helpful. And if you could highlight what was the price hike which was taken in the particle board?
3%. 3% is the price hike.
Sure. And what could be the likely quantum for price hike in MDF?
Similar. We have not yet decided. We are working on it. We are testing the market.
Right.
Similar, because gone are the days when we used to take a price hike of 5%, 6% at a time in plywood. So similar are the cases in MDF and particle board. So we take every step very cautiously.
Right. Sure. My understanding was... Please.
No, we are testing the market. Slowly, we are seeing what is the pull, how people are behaving, and then when we have started offering a little bit of a higher price to somebody, we are seeing whether he says out. So when we now ask him 3%, then he agrees for 2%. So we start doing some business at 2% or 1.5%. So slowly we will go to 3% within next 15 days or so. That is the way it always happens.
Sure. Right. And my understanding was that you don't get any brand premium as such in the MDF segment. So is this largely to do with the demand supply tightness that you are witnessing in the North market, which is giving you that leverage to increase the prices?
So MDF has got actually two categories. One is the regular MDF. Yes, there is not much of a brand play. Yes, there is a brand play. You see, there are two types of small players. There are smaller players in the north. Those who have put up 200 cubic meter or 150 cubic meter plant. So they sell about 8 to 10% cheaper than us. So there is a brand difference because it is a Century or it is a Green. So there is a brand difference of 8 to 10%. But the other area is we have a premium segment which we call Premium Plus. So that is a much higher density MDF and which can be used even in a place where there is water. So it's waterproof also.
Right.
So that area actually commands price difference. Their branding also matters. So today we sell a lot of material. I think about I should say 20% of our material is that branded material, and there we command our price. Our prices are highest in the country, even better than any of our competitors actually.
Right.
And that is one area whether probably if we have more capacity, right now we don't have capacity, but if we have more capacity, we will probably go for advertising and make that brand much bigger and bigger, and maybe shift our 30-40% production to that branded MDF. There is a possibility.
Right. Okay. So it's a mix of both. I mean, now the demand is increasing and the supply constraint is starting to show up, and then definitely there is the brand element as well that helps things. Right. And do you think cycle of price hikes, if you are able to sort of able to pass this price hike in this particular segment, or is it too early to call that out?
Could not hear you completely. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So what I just wanted to know was that if you are able to pass on this price hike, do you think that this could trigger a cycle of price hikes from here on? Because that was something that did not happen in this particular segment, right? So do you think that is possible, or it's still too early to call anything out?
You see, it all depends. There is no new capacity coming in the very near future, except one plant in the south. So I feel that next about 2 years' time before any other plant will come in. So for next 2 years, I believe that yes, the price hike will keep on coming in small spurts. So right now we are contemplating a 3%, but maybe we are even accepting 1.5% increase from some buyer or 2% increase from some buyer and selling some quantity. And saying next 15 days we will achieve a 3% increase, or 20 days we will achieve this. Maybe after a month or so, 2 months or so, when this gets into the market and if the pull continues, we will still again try. You see, that is the job of a manufacturer, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and we don't see any capacity coming in for next 2 years except that one plant in south.
Right.
So when that plant comes in, yes, for next 4, 5, 6 months the increases will not happen.
Right. And last,
still I don't see their competition in north. Actually, they won't be able to compete and come and sell in the north. So the competition, whatever will come in the south actually.
Thank you, sir. So I would request you to please return to the queue for any follow-up questions.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Requesting all participants to limit your questions to 2. If time permits, we will come back to you should you have any follow-ups. The next question is in the line of Abhishek from DSP Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So what's the lead time for this MDF plant which you're talking about in south? How long will you take to put it up once you commence the construction?
You see, once we commence the construction, it's a different story. Then maybe 1 year. But then commencing the construction, you require land. So I think Keshav will be able to tell you better.
You see, it depends on 2 or 3 factors. The first is the machinery supplier because of the challenges today with regards to movement of people. Because getting the machinery is not an issue, but you need to have the technical team here to install the machinery and then to start the trial production. Earlier, we were envisioning that within 14 months, we should be able to come up with new capacity once we have the land in hand. But today, I think we should look at a longer horizon of maybe 16 to 18 months.
So with land, it should be at least 2 years from the time you finalize.
With land, I would say a year and a half. After land is acquired, 1.5 years, we should be able to get the plant up and running.
And land will take about 4 to 5 months to 6 months for you to kind of procure and finalize.
It's an objective topic. Land sometimes can take a week also. Sometimes, like you said, it can take 3 to 4 months also.
Okay. And have you seen any the imports which were coming in from Southeast and all for MDF? Have you seen any disruption there because of the overall MDF production in those countries not happening? Anything that we have seen along those lines?
You see, the demand for MDF has increased in China itself first. So China is a good exporter, but right now we are not exporting much of their quantity. So that is number one reason for a pressure on the other plants in, say, in Indonesia or Malaysia and Thailand and New Zealand. So that is one reason. About the prices have increased by about $15-20 per cubic meter. And the second reason is you must know that in all products, the shipping freight has gone through so that only the cost per cubic meter, the sea freight has increased by 20 to 25, 30, even $30 per cubic meter. So that is another reason the import cost is increasing. But all those actually will be landed in India, will be effective say by December, because the prices have increased, but still the old rate goods are coming in and all those things are happening. So the real price increase for import in the market will happen by December.
Okay. And sir, just one last question. The plywood segment, similarly, import or procurement of timber has been an issue, and so has unorganized seen some amount of disruption, and hence have you gained market share? Is that a right kind of thing? Sorry, Nikita, you're not audible. Yeah.
Due to the unorganized sector, it is definitely due to labor issues as well as export issues. It is definitely taking time to restart, but that was the same time it was taking for recovery. So I would not say that we have been able to really take market share, and honestly, the plywood segment, the data is not very, you don't get data on a month-to-month basis as to what is the market share. There is no such organized data available. It's very early to comment, but yes, we are doing very well is what I could say. Whether it is coming from organized sector or unorganized, it's difficult to comment right now.
Okay. Thank you so much and wish you all the best. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rishikesh Bhagat from Kotak Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, for opportunity. So 2 questions from my side. So firstly, the margins that we are showing this quarter, it accounts for the entire large part of promotional spend that we had done for Virotil, right? Or is it's deferred or anything like that? Because we had it accounts for this one. Okay. And just I think one of the comment was made that the implementation of TOC did help us to improve the availability despite the surge in demand that was seen during say September and October. And I think what I understand is that the TOC we had scaled down, the implementation had scaled down because the results were not up to our expectation. So any rethought or rework on that front?
We need to make a difference here. There are 2 parts to the TOC implementation. One is with regards to the supply chain management, and the other is with regards to the go-to-market and the overall sales strategy. Sure. With regards to go-to-market and overall sales strategy, yes, we had slowed down TOC. We had taken 7 branches, and we had said that once we establish it completely in these 7 branches, only then shall we roll it out. With regards to supply chain management, we had rolled this out pan-India, and that exercise has been extremely successful, and it continues even today.
Okay. Okay. And just last question from my end. I understand that there's this alternative location we are working in South, but just in any case, say hypothetically in 6 to 9 months down the line, assuming this Sitapur issue gets resolved and if there's no capex started in South, or probably some degree of advanced capex has happened in South, will we still look at Sitapur also simultaneously, considering the tightness in demand and supply in northern market in MDF?
The chairman has categorically stated repeatedly that he expects or envisages in the next 5 years we will have 5 production facilities for MDF. Rather, we will have 5 times today's current production facility. So while I cannot comment immediately on whether we will do Sitapur and the South, or whether we will do both simultaneously, or whether we will do one at a 6-month lag, we definitely are exploring that. Right now it is going to be the first of maybe 2 or 3 plants coming up over the course of the next few years. At this point in time, we are only looking at the South plant, but going forward, based on demand, 100% we'll keep on evaluating and exploring where we should set up capacity to reduce our freight costs and to ensure that we have the low overall raw material pricing.
Okay. Thank you, Keshav. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Kunal Lakhan from CLSA. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for taking my question. So you talked about you gaining market share in the last 6 months. Can you just pinpoint, like, in terms of what has been the market share in the 4 segments, how much we have gained so far?
You see, it's very difficult to give you any sort of exact numbers on the same, because as you know, our industry is very unorganized. But I would say that if you look at us versus competition with regards to any capacity, with regards to any division, we would have a far higher capacity utilization and we would have a far lower degrowth. So I think that gives you a semblance of the fact that yes, we have gained market share.
My second question is on again in your opening remarks you mentioned that Indian government is focusing on encouraging the domestic furniture manufacturing industry. Just wanted to broadly understand our sales mix in terms of retail and institutional or other B2B customers, and what will be our marketing strategy going ahead, to maybe take an advantage of such a surge in manufacturing in
You're talking about MDF?
I'm talking about all the segments actually, MDF and plywood, yeah, more specifically.
Okay, so you see, plywood is not at all going into OEMs or into projects. Plywood is 100% or maybe say 95% is going to consumer through our retail channel. As far as MDF is concerned, most of the MDF goes through OEMs only. The customer himself does not buy does not buy MDF. So these two are absolutely 2 different markets. So does it explain your point or?
Sure, that's helpful. But even going ahead, plywood, you don't see any, would we expect plywood also to remain primarily a retail market and not?
Yeah, plywood is a retail market, consumer market product, and it will remain as a consumer product market. Yes, some of the plywood products which are actually, we should say, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? What do you call the 16 mm? Calibrated. So there is a calibrated plywood 16 mm which is going in for an OEMs a little bit, but the quantity is very, very little. Otherwise, the OEMs only take either particle board or MDF, and everything goes through OEMs only. Whether it goes to dealers also, from dealers it goes to small OEMs. And we are in touch with all the OEMs across the country through our network, and that's how we are able to manage more than 60% of the order to channel is made by us from OEM today.
Sure, that's helpful. And lastly, on the operating margin front, in MDF segment, we have seen some sharp improvement in the margins. I think probably one of the best margins we have reported on a quarterly basis in MDF segment. This is on account of operating leverage or higher utilization levels, or is there anything else to read here?
I think the story is very simple. It is because of the higher operations and better utilization of the capacities. And number two, the expenses are a little lesser, you can say, in this pandemic time, because the travel and many other expenses are little lesser. But yes, mostly it is only because of the higher utilization of capacity.
But with the price hikes, you think the margins has a further upside going ahead?
If we can increase the price, yes.
Sure. That's very helpful. Thank you, and a very happy Diwali to all of you ahead.
Happy Diwali to you too. Wish you the same.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Siddharth Rajpurohit from GHP Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations on the performance and also on the success of Virocal technology.
Thank you.
Sir, my first question is there any constraint in the raw material side of India grows so much in terms of exports that we are talking, sir?
You are talking about raw material for furniture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So raw material for furniture, you see, in India today, have you heard the news? It was everywhere that India's forest cover has increased by some 16% in last 10 years. Have you heard this news?
Sorry, sir, I missed that.
You have not heard the news. So you see, India's forest cover is increasing every year. It is because of only one reason. All the agriculturists or kisan are growing plantation timber in their excess land, or in the area and where there is made bolte hain na, jo joint of two plots. So on
right,
those,
sir. Baad jo
those
beech
joints, yes. So on the joints, they are growing these trees. These trees do not take a cost at all. The pulley takes about maybe 10 to 15 rupees or 30 rupees or 25 rupees is the basic pulley. And after that, you don't have to even look after it. In 3 to 4 years, it is ready for sale. And it brings in few thousand rupees per tree. So every farmer in the country, whether he is in Kerala or where he is in Jammu or whether he is in Uttaranchal or in Bengal or in Assam, everyone is now slowly learning, and this plantation is increasing. So the dearth of timber is not there at all. And by the time this revolution of furniture making comes in India, it really grows. By that time, we will have much more plantation available. So it is good for the farmers also, you see. They are making this extra money. It is good for the farmers and it is good for the industry. So right now I don't see any dearth, but yes, always there will be some times when there will be a shortage of timber, and there will be always some time when there will be excess of timber. So that's an economic cycle which will go on.
Okay, sir. And sir, if there is no government support, still India has the capability to maintain the growth in the export, which may start?
I think government has to support.
Okay.
Government has to support, and there are many areas which have been identified, and that will require a totally separate session that yes, what is required from government, but yes.
Yes, sir. And lastly, what's the status on Gabon, sir?
What is the?
Gabon plant, sir?
Oh, Gabon plant, actually we have kept it, on hold. Because there is no dearth of face veneer availability, and because of this pandemic also we delayed it a little bit. Now we are taking it back, and sometime we'll start it. It's almost ready. We're only delaying because once you start, then the administrative expenses will start. So that's why we were not very keen on starting it, as the raw material is available across everywhere. There is no dearth from the raw material, and that is only a raw material supply to Century Ply. That is the reason we are putting up that plant.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, and wish you all a very happy and prosperous New Year, sir.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Operator, I am done.
Yes, thank you, sir. Just a moment.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I think that Nikita and Keshav have been disconnected, so could you join them?
Yes, sir. I'm disconnecting. Participants, the line for the management have been disconnected. Request you to kindly stay on hold while we reconnect them.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir.
आ गया ना?
Okay. I'm taking the next question from the line of Prakash, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead with the question, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to ask a question.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. Okay. My first question was, what are the plans for the Gabon unit and the new MDF plant at UP? Okay. And my second question was, why we stopped cooperating with one of the credit rating agencies 6 months back, even as our debt is very low?
Okay. So let me answer both your questions. Firstly, with regards to Gabon and UP, we have answered the question immediately before this, but I'll repeat myself again. In Gabon, we are close to completion and we'll begin operations. We have not started because of the environment of the market right now. It does not make sense. It is not viable at this point in time. But going forward very soon, as the economy starts recovering, we will start Gabon operations. We are contemplating between Uttar Pradesh and the south for a new capacity, and we are doing due deliberations. By December, we should have a decision. Secondly, we did not stop cooperating with any agency. That was, I would say, a mistake on part of the agency. Our CFO will clarify the point.
Okay.
Hello. Regarding this rating agency, I'd like to clarify that we have withdrawn our arrangement with CRISIL long back. Somehow it remained in their system, and they have uploaded this non-cooperation thing, which they relied later on that this was wrong on their part, and they have already rectified it and put on their site also. We are rated by ICRA only, not by CRISIL.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karan from Asian Market Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, just one question from my end. How are things shaping up in Laos and Myanmar currently?
So, with regards to Laos, as you know, we've already taken a write-off. We are waiting for the government to reverse this decision, but it does not look very likely at this point in time. So we are in a perpetual wait-and-watch situation, even though they have made 2 or 3 announcements in the recent past stating that they would allow some quota, etc. Till the time they do not come out with a clear-cut policy where they will allow the export of veneers, we would not be resuming operations there. Secondly, Myanmar is still is operational for us, and it is supplying us with Gurjan face veneer, which is required for us in all our higher-end segment products, and this will continue for the foreseeable future.
Correct. And currently, what is the pricing differential between the Ocume and Gurjan? Because Gurjan also has corrected in last 6 months to 1 year.
Nikita will just answer your question.
Yeah, hi. Actually, the thing is, there is currently in the market a shortage of Ocume face. So the prices of Ocume is rising almost every day. So the difference has come to around less than 10 rupees per square, like 10, yeah, it's less than 10 rupees right now, the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Roman. Thank you so much for participation. Sir, any closing comments you would like to give?
Yeah. Thank you, friends, for joining us on the call and taking your time looking into our finances and our actions. And hopefully we will see you next time with more aggression, with better results, with better situation of COVID. And wishing you, all of you, a happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Asian Market Securities, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.